funny thing is the cloud computing as a buzzword, as a trend is out there for maybe 5 or 6 years. But actually it was there from the beginning of the internet. If you look at email as one of the first applications broadly used on the internet, this was a cloud service. And that's actually a funny thing about cloud computing. This is a business trend, a technology development, which first was used in the consumer world and then went into the business world.
Maximizing the value in the cloud is all about taking the right products at the right time. It's not trying to put everything into the cloud at the same time. Most companies have invested in certain amounts of infrastructure. Scrapping that infrastructure before it's fully depreciated to move into the cloud is often a very expensive process. Probably the best time to move into the cloud is when taking on a new service or when starting a new business. Just scrapping everything, believing that cloud is going to save you a lot of money, is a complete misnomer.
Yeah, it's certainly not correct to say cloud computing is always saving money and it's the main driver. The main driver really is that cloud computing enables you to have much more innovative products much earlier, to be more flexible, to really use the economy of scale not only on costs but also on innovation. The biggest concern probably globally is IT security and data protection. It certainly is in continental Europe. And this has even become a bigger problem to market cloud services after all the NSA scandals. Both secret services as industry spies, they would be at least as easily get the data if it's in a traditional, not high secure environment. So actually, in my perspective, technically, there are usually no bigger business threat. The cases where it's really a technical threat are rather rare.
But probably the biggest commercial risk for cloud is how you get your data back at the end of your cloud contract. So if you just terminate the contract because you want to move somewhere else, you need to know how you're going to get your data back and how easy it is for you to use that data with another cloud provider. Even worse is, what are you going to do if your cloud provider goes bust? You're going to have real trouble getting your data back.
I would say, to be fair, it's probably the two biggest things to address in a cloud outsourcing are the data migration, the exit, plus the privacy IT security concerns. Taking the migration thing, in the good old outsourcing days, some people were saying, I start the negotiations always with the exit clause, so with the end of the contract. In cloud days, you have to think about data migration clauses, and even to take the traditional software escrow one step further to a data escrow, so having your data secured at a third party. And from the privacy point of view, it's often said, oh, we can't do cloud computing, it's just not legal under data protection law. And I have to say, in 95% or 99% of the cases, that's simply wrong. It's just about a proper vendor selection, somebody who takes cloud data protection seriously, and about having the proper contracts in place, and then it usually works. And even the data protection authorities in Europe admit that it's possible.
One of the actually principal threats for a customer is that cloud computing changes the way that IT is supplied to companies. So that traditionally, IT would be bought by the IT department, who would vet it, make sure it was secure, make sure it fitted in with the business environment. Buying cloud services is now very easy. Anyone within the company can buy cloud services. You sign up for them online, you open your iPad, you download apps, you've bought cloud services. Therefore, the IT department rarely knows what you're buying. The real business threat is for IT departments to be able to analyze ways of controlling what users want to buy and then giving them an easy means of buying what they need without risking the business. And it's the job of a decent law firm to be able to guide the client through that to make it easy for them to buy cloud services. It's very easy to say don't do this because it's risky. it's much more difficult actually to find an easy path through for the client to buy those services in a cheap and effective manner. To my mind, what we're going to see going forward is not the universal use of IT services through the cloud. We're going to see a hybrid mix of some services which are appropriate in the cloud and other services which are on-premise. So we'll still have outsourcing, we'll still have big IT infrastructure contracts, but we'll also have cloud intermixed with that.
The sky is the limit for cloud computing, but I agree with Harald. There will never be a day, in my view, where we just say everything is in the cloud, everything is out there.
Yeah, but I think the point you make is actually a very valid one. It allows new services to be developed, which otherwise wouldn't have been appropriate for on-premise services. So I think rather than a big shift from traditional into cloud, what we'll see is traditional plus cloud.